Hey everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for your Wednesday edition of 19 at Noon. Got a lot to break down for you. We've got heat, we've got some strong storm chances this afternoon, and we do have a cool down as well in the forecast. So we'll dive into all of that here in just a moment. I want to remind you that we are live wherever you stream. We're live on Fox19.com, the Fox 19 News and First Alert Weather app. We're live on the 24/7 Weather Streaming channel. We're live on Facebook, both my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX and on the Fox 19 Facebook page. And then we're also live, of course, on YouTube. Eventually, we'll be able to do live chats on YouTube, but for now, we're just keeping the chats on Facebook. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to chime in on the Fox 19 Facebook page, as well as my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. So right now we are looking at a view of our rooftop camera. This is over in Queensgate above the building here, looking towards, I believe, downtown Cincinnati, or okay, we're aiming towards Paycor. So live look here, you see some of that sunshine, a little bit of a haze out there, and it is already hot. 87 this hour as we head into the lunch hour, and it's going to continue to get hotter, getting into the 90s later today. And that heat, along with some more humidity, is going to allow for storm chances to develop. So right now, taking a look at those temperatures across the Fox 19 Now viewing area from various airports. And once this map loads, you'll see that it is a hot one out there. Already 90 over at the Lunken Airport, 90 in Hamilton. We're in the mid to upper 80s for most spots, although a little bit milder over towards Batesville. 82 this hour, 84 in Harrison. But when you look at the humidity here, the dew points, they're a little bit muggier compared to yesterday. We had dew points yesterday in the low to mid 60s. In fact, I believe CVG, the dew point dropped down to like 62, 63. A bit drier air, but in this case, of course, it is a bit more humid. And when you factor in that humidity, it does feel hotter. So heat index values, or feels like temperatures, are in the 90s for most locations, especially over towards Lebanon and at the Lunken Airport. 95, the heat index value there. So feeling very hot out there. In fact, my story today, as I'm reporting on Wednesdays, is that cooling centers around Cincinnati. Kind of some information about that, where to go, and also talking about just some tips, of course, to find ways to stay cool. So that is the heat right now. It's going to get hotter this afternoon. I'll show you that here in a moment, but I do want to address something that we haven't touched up much on this morning. So if you're watching the Morning X or the 11 o'clock newscast, we didn't bring this up as much, but I think it's worth noting. We do have a slight risk of severe weather for pretty much folks along and north of the Ohio River, including most of southeast Indiana and portions of southwest Ohio. So this slight risk, it is for the potential for strong damaging wind gusts, as well as hail, as well as some heavy downpours with some thunder and lightning. Of course, lightning is a risk in any thunderstorm that you do want to take seriously. But again, this was updated around 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, that the slight risk has made its way further south into the Fox 19 Now viewing area. And I'll show you that in forecast model data in a moment. First, I want to address, though, the fact that the high temperatures today. It's going to be hot. Now, mind you, I will say this is showing 90 for the temperature right now. Let's just show you the forecast model. I'd rather show that. So here is the forecast model data I'll put behind us. I'll go through it once, take a look at the comments and questions on our Facebook page, and then we'll continue on with the forecast here. So here it is around lunch hour. Now, mind you, the temperatures here are a little bit hotter than what they actually are, at least for Cincinnati, but still quite warm and humid. Dew points are in the upper 60s and low 70s. And then storms will fire up after around 3 o'clock. So for the kids at the bus stop, as they're leaving school, of course, hopefully they're finding ways to stay cool, hydrated, you know the drill. But in addition to that, there could also be some pop-up showers and storms. These are going to be on the variety of what we call popcorn variety. They're going to just kind of spark where the heat, the humidity is going to best serve those storms. And so there's really no one location to look out for when those storms initially fire off. Now, if that being said, I think if any storm does develop initially, it's going to be for the left 2/3 of the tri-state. So far eastern counties, I think it's going to be a little bit drier for you folks, granted considering the drought conditions that are out that way. But areas that are in central portions of the Fox 19 now viewing area and the western portions of the tri-state, I think that's where the best opportunity for the initial pop-ups will develop. However, everyone has the threat to see some storms this afternoon, this evening, once those storms become a little more organized, but they are not going to be organized on the scale of a cold front. They're going to be more organized in terms of clusters. They're going to kind of merge together. And that's going to lead to what we call outflow boundaries, or these kind of lines that act like little small cold fronts. And so that's going to allow for some strong wind gusts as well as the additional development for showers and storms. So the initiation of these storms around 3 o'clock or so looks like mainly the left 2/3 of the tri-state. After 4 or 5 o'clock, I would say closer to 5 o'clock, everyone could see the potential for storms here in the tri-state. So this is one forecast model at 7 o'clock. You can see there those clusters of storms continuing at 9 o'clock as well. And notice the yellow, orange, and red. So a lot of that indicating the potential for some heavy downpours. And then as we head into midnight tonight, things will come to an end as we are looking at, well, I don't want to say drier air, but we are looking at the activity kind of dispersing. Though Thursday we do have the opportunity to see some pop-up showers and storms as well. Take a look at the comments on our Facebook page, and we will go ahead and continue here. Cheyenne asks, storm chances for tomorrow. Yeah, we do have a chance, but the chance, I will say, tomorrow is lower in comparison to today. In fact, this is tomorrow, according to this forecast model. Just a couple of cells showing up, a lot more disorganized compared to today. And as you can see, most of the tri-state tomorrow afternoon is going to be dry. So there's a chance tomorrow. The chance is very low, but I will say today is the better opportunity between today and tomorrow here in the Fox 19 now viewing area. Look at my Facebook page real quick before we continue. Hopefully y'all having a good Wednesday so far. Okay, no additional comments, so we'll go ahead and move on. So this is Thursday. Again, a pop-up chance, can't quite rule it out, but I think Thursday we're going to be pretty dry, hot and dry. We go into your Friday. Most of your Friday does look dry for the majority of the day. Now, Friday evening, after around 3, 4 o'clock, we're also looking at the potential for some pop-up showers and storms. This is all ahead of a cold front. And this is going to, again, look more dry than wet. However, Friday night are going to be the better opportunities for showers and storms to move through. Heading into your Saturday morning, which, of course, we'll be tracking that here for you Saturday morning on Fox 19. But you can still see showers and storms, and this is part of that cold front that moves through on Saturday, which will bring in some mild conditions. And of course, we need the rain. I'll show you the rainfall forecast model data in a moment. I want to show you the drought monitor first, because this is going to be updated tomorrow. Tomorrow at around 8:30, we'll be able to show you the updated data from this. And I'm afraid that it's going to expand westward because of the fact that it's just been so dry here this past week. And the moisture, we really need it. The soils, of course, this time of the year, it's drier compared to your spring or even your summer, but still, it's been so dry for an extended period of time. The rain we have been seeing, it's come down all at once, and you have this long extended period of dry conditions. It's not good for the soils. And of course, we have extreme drought conditions to our far east over towards Highland and portions of Adams County and to the Scioto Valley. But I would not be surprised to see the yellow expand westward. I wouldn't even be surprised to see the moderate drought expand westward, and even the severe could expand over towards Clinton, Brown, Adams counties, perhaps, just considering the dry conditions last week and in the heat we've had this week so far, which has really helped in further aiding in the dry conditions out that way. But of course, we do need the rain, and we do have some of that rain coming today, some places tomorrow, and then Friday into Friday night. So here's that muggy meter. The dew points again today are hovering around those upper 60s, low 70s. So it's basically the air you can wear. You're feeling the heat, you're feeling the humidity when you step outside. That'll continue into Thursday. Portions of Friday into Friday night, even into portions of Saturday, will it be humid. Going into Sunday and Monday, though, we do take a dip with the dew points. Milder, comfortable air moving in for Labor Day weekend. So the start of Labor Day weekend, yeah, it's going to be humid. But going into Sunday, into Monday, Labor Day itself, things will be a bit drier. So what I'm going to do next is take a look at one particular forecast model when it comes to rainfall totals that we could expect. And this is, again, just one particular forecast model. So the colors aren't showing up for some reason. But you can see going between now and into Thursday, some places could see locally up to maybe a ½ an inch. Other places, next to nothing. And that's just kind of how this is going to work with these pop-up chances Thursday as well as Friday. Now, the best chances of seeing widespread rain is today, at least right now from the data that is being suggested. But then Friday night into Saturday, we are looking at a front moving through, and that will bring in some shower and storm activity. Will it be a lot? No. Is it going to be something? Yes. And so this is going into Saturday evening, and then we go into Sunday. Drier air does move in. So let's look at the regional forecast model. This one is what that is reflecting, the rainfall totals. And so you can see here, this is the scattered shower and storm activity here this afternoon, this evening. We go into your Thursday. Most of your Thursday is dry, just a few pop-up chances. We go into Friday. You can see much of your Friday is dry, but then Friday night into Saturday, that cold front moves through, bringing in scattered showers and storms, and then things look pretty dry going into the first full week of September, including, of course, Labor Day. So Saturday also has chances for scattered showers and a few storms, but we are looking at milder air working its way through during the day on Saturday. In fact, next thing I want to do is take a look at the 7-day forecast, and that 7-day forecast does show that the temperatures will reflect that milder air that does work its way into the tri-state. And while that loads, I'll get a drink of my body armor real quick. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to chime in on the Facebook page. Okay, so you can see here today's high is 97. Though I will say, if the storms do develop a little bit ahead of schedule, that could limit the high temperature a little bit. It is 87, mind you, here this hour. Thursday, it's 95 with that chance for a few isolated pop-ups, but otherwise it looks to be more dry than wet. Friday, evening storms, better in the overnight hours going into your Saturday. And then the temperatures begin to go down. And of course, by Labor Day, you got a high of 84. Partly cloudy skies, your Tuesday, 82. Also looking at partly cloudy conditions. And for folks who are asking, hey, what does it look like after Tuesday of next week? Well, temperatures look to be getting back to near normal. So what's that mean? Near normal going into the first full week of September. So again, Tuesday is the 3rd. So this is looking at basically from the 4th of September through the 10th of September. So most of the first half of September, temperatures look to rebound to be near normal. And what is normal? Highs generally in the upper 70s and low 80s, with lows generally in the upper 50s and low 60s. Now, there's going to be a couple of anomalous days here and there. That's just kind of how it goes. But generally speaking, most of basically from September 4th to the 10th, highs in the low 80s, lows in the upper 50s. That's going to be kind of what to expect. And fortunately, dry air does work in. So we have the rain chances going in the next few days, but once we head into, well, basically, once we head into Saturday evening, drier air works in, and the forecast is favorable for dry conditions through September 10th. And the weeks 3 to 4, so this is basically from the 11th through the, hold on, let me double check this. This would be basically towards the end of September. So temperatures look to be pretty much on par with what we typically see in September. So fortunately, no major heat waves, it looks like, going into the end of September. And with that, the moisture does not seem to be, drastically dry, nor does it look to be what we need. So we are looking at favorable conditions for what you typically see mid to late September, which I kind of hinted at that on 19 at 6 back on Sunday. But here it again is that 7-day forecast. I'll show it behind me. That way you can see that. That updated forecast does show, again, storm chances the next few days. The best chances, of course, are today as well as into Friday night into Saturday. But that's going to come in with some relief moving in. Molly says, hello, Ethan. Wish we can get storms. Our pond needs it. Our pond will no longer be a pond soon. I hate to see that, Molly. But these storms that do move through today, and I will say Friday night and Saturday, are going to have some good soaking showers with them. So hopefully it does enough. It won't do, it won't cure everything, but will it be helpful? Sure. Any rain you can get will be helpful in this scenario. So thanks, Molly, for sharing that. Susan says, thank you for the information. We all need rain so badly. We certainly do. I know a lot of my friends who work in agriculture, friends who are gardeners, yeah, they're really feeling it. And in fact, I need to water my garden. I have not, guilty. I haven't had a chance to do the last couple of days, but I will be doing that this evening. And you don't want to water middle of the day. It's not healthy for them. It's best to do in the evenings or the mornings in that regard. On the Fox 19 Facebook page, we just checked out those comments. I'll look at my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. Got a couple of comments there. Jeff, hi from Hillsboro. We definitely need the rain on the east side of the county. Yes, I'm very aware of that. My dad lives in southeastern portions of Highland County, and when I went there a couple weeks ago, it was already really bad, and I'm sure it's gotten worse. And so, you got to feel for those folks who have to make a living out there working outside, and the fact that the moisture is not what they need to yield a good crop is not great. But hopefully some of this rain we have today, Friday evening and Saturday, will alleviate some of that. Kim says, way too hot in Bowling Green. I'm very sure. Bowling Green, it's probably also a bit more humid down there too. I remember when I used to work down there, around here it does get hot and humid, but down there it was a stretch of time that was just so hot and sticky. So feel for you folks down there in southern Kentucky. Jordan, good friend of mine from high school, you carry Cincinnati on your shoulders. Got broad shoulders, fortunately, but no, I don't have that kind of weight or impact. But thank you. Debbie says, we need the rain. Cornfields aren't very high. Yeah, again, I get it. It's been really rough for those locations east with the lack of rain. But again, the drought monitor will be updated tomorrow morning. It's something that gets updated once a week by the U.S. Drought Monitor. And when that update comes out, we'll let you know here on Fox 19. And I'm afraid that it's going to expand further west. So our western locations might begin to see abnormally dry conditions being categorized for them. And I'm afraid that extreme drought may expand further west as well for our eastern folks, eastern locations here in the tri-state. So one more time, we're going to wrap this up soon for Now in the Natty, coming up at 12:30. But when the computer wants to work with me, I do want to show you that update again from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have a slight risk of severe weather. It's a level 2 out of 5. And this is for locations pretty much along and, well, actually, if you know your roads, it's right smack dab on US 50 and points northward. But if you don't know where US 50 is, basically along and north of basically along and north of the Ohio River. Geesh, it's my Monday, can't you tell? But again, the slight risk is just for the risk of seeing some strong damaging straight line winds, as well as hail. We're not looking at any kind of tornado threat, really. We're not looking at any kind of major flooding event, which, of course, any rainfall is good, but we don't want to see flooding conditions by any stretch. But the storm that developed today could very well bring in the threat for strong damaging winds and hail. Kim, on my Facebook page, we are to get rain Saturday. Yeah, we got some showers and storms on Saturday, mainly for the morning and midday. It looks like drier air is going to work in Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. James says, how it do? It do. It's Wednesday. Jeff, can you turn the AC on? That'd be great. So I don't know if you were watching Fox 19 this morning, but they had the fan on in the studio because it's just the AC is not working enough even here at the studio. So we definitely need the AC, and hopefully you'll feel better next week with the forecast because we do have milder air working in for Labor Day itself as well as most of the first week of September. So the AC will be turned on. It's just a matter of patience. So of course, this kind of heat, it's hard to be patient. Jeff says, you don't like hail. Yeah, well, this time of year, spring and fall typically are your best odds of seeing hail and thunderstorms. Not always the case, but when you look at storms from a three-dimensional aspect, when you're looking higher up, when it comes to the fall and spring, the freezing layer gets a little bit closer to the surface, whereas summertime, you get the most heat. It's a little bit farther up farther up elevated in the atmosphere. So in your fall and spring, you typically get more hail events or hail scenarios. But considering how hot it is, even with the freezing layer higher up, still have that risk for some storms to contain some hail with it. Now, do I suspect large hail? Not so much. I think we could see some small hail in some of these showers and storms. My biggest thing to look out for with these storms will be the damaging straight line winds because of the outflow boundary, which is that straight line wind gust that you typically see. They usually come with those really nice, beautiful shelf clouds. It looks kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Kind of like, you ever like making bread or maybe Play-Doh and you roll it out and it's like all rolled out? It kind of looks like that in the sky. So it's a shelf cloud, we call it. Looks kind of like a shelf, the top shelf of a drawer. There's actually some sciencey stuff I can go involved with, but don't have enough time to do that. But you might see some shelf clouds today. And if you have any good storm photos that you can take safely, we'd appreciate those. Fox19.com/pics, P-I-C-S. But again, storm chances developing this afternoon after 3 o'clock. Starting, it looks like, for areas along and west of I-75. However, after 5 o'clock, I think everyone has that potential to see some showers and storms. And any of these storms, again, could bring heavy downpour, thunder and lightning, strong gusty winds, and maybe some small hail. And this is going to continue until about 11 o'clock midnight. Then after that, the storm chances are pretty much gone, but we could see some pop-up showers and a few storms on Thursday as well. And of course, you can always get the latest updates on fox19.com/weather and the Fox 19 First Alert Weather app. And at 3 o'clock, meteorologist Catherine Bodak will have an updated forecast and tracking some of those showers and storms somewhere developing in the tri-state. So that's all the time we have for us. So thank you all so much for joining us here on this Wednesday edition of 19 at Noon.